That actually shouldn't be on. This idiot is gonna die today. You hear that? I will destroy you. This amazing build that I've discovered. Hold on. This. So, anyway, hello everyone, how are you all? Welcome back to another build showcase. Another engineer one, my favourite class of all time. Out of the many dozens of classes that we have at our disposal. Obviously, you've seen the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you know this guy is supposed to be a robot killer, but frankly, he goes a bit beyond just killing robots. In fact, that was the goal of making this build, where I made it quite some time ago now, but came to soon realise that he's good at everything. As in, this might be the best build I've ever come up with, frankly. Not actually according to personal taste, just like an objective evaluation of it. It's just ridiculously good. And I suppose I shouldn't waste any time. First of all, just look at the guy. He looks fucking fantastic, doesn't he? What a tank. But obviously every part of this is designed to be good against robots, but also, I guess, trying to make a build that's specifically good against robots led me down a road of sort of capturing my philosophy on build making in general in a perfect way. And the principles on which I make builds is the principle of, or the one I try to follow is the principle of, in any given situation, you know exactly what to do. As in, your kit has options for every given situation. As in, anything you come across, you know exactly what to do with your kit in that given moment. You're never flustered, you're never confused. Obviously, you can get overwhelmed, you can get surprised, but any standard situation that you could run into, your build can handle it. As in, there's an option that you'll default to, even if your skill were to falter in that scenario. That's a it's a human error. I was about to say a skill issue. It would be a skill issue. Skill issue is just another way of saying human error. But basically, I work on the principle of trying to eliminate non-human errors, or non-dwarven errors, I suppose. And that's where I think this build succeeds. So let's just go through it. There's two core weapons at play here, which is the smart rifle and shard diffractor. There is a complete alternate version of this build, which uses the stubby and the PGL with hyperpropellant, but this is much more specifically for robots, mainly because I only use hyperpropellant to one-shot patrol bots, because that's what it's best for. But the true robot killer and the true overall best build that I've got is this one. So we use the smart rifle with explosive chemical rounds, which I've ragged on before. I have. I've ragged on it, but I've also given it the credit it deserves, I think. Either way, it's a really great overclock at crowd clearing, and it's just not that bad in general. It's got pretty decent economy. It's sort of very solidly free shots a lot of things. It's very reliable. I still find its ammo to be a bit of a problem, especially when you try and pair it with something that isn't the shard diffractor. Because we are pairing the shard diffractor, in this case, it's the perfect weapon for the job. But obviously we take more ammo because we're losing ammo, and also we don't care about bullet damage because we're going for explosions anyway. The more ammo we have, the more explosions we have, therefore we have way more damage than we would have if we took the damage mod. Macro lens. Now, macro lens, I believe, is the best mod in this tier for the shard diffractor. The smart rifle. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and explosive chemical rounds is actually one of them, which you might not expect. You might not expect the mod that goes in for pure accuracy and range. Yeah, it's actually like tightening the spread as much as possible. You wouldn't think that'd be good for AoE, but it actually is, because obviously explosive chemical rounds relies on you getting 3 locks on the target to generate an explosion. It's much easier to get 3 locks on a target when our target window is much tighter. Therefore, we're not going to be distributing our locks across multiple targets. So we're going to be able to get those 3 locks on one target much quicker than we would if we took either of the other mods. So that explains that. Tier 3 is a little bit more ambiguous, just don't take smart targeting software. Electrochemical rounds is good because we're playing with fire on our shard diffractor and electricity on the smart rifle anyway, so we can boost its own damage quite a bit. And you do feel that, although I'm still unsure whether or not the explosion benefits from these bonuses. Either way, because we have the explosion, I don't feel that super blow through is terribly necessary. But because we are speccing into AoE, there is an argument to be made for it. I don't think I'm going to try it today. I'm just saying that it's probably not. It's probably not invalid. An aerial vehicle reversing the skies outside. So I take electrochemical rounds because we have electricity and we have fire in this build prominently, so it makes a lot of sense. Tier 4, shutter speed sensor. Combine this with macro lens to get the fastest lock-on speed on a single enemy possible, which just leads to more benefits for electrochemical rounds. There's no sense in taking aperture extension, other than potentially being able to get more explosions at once. It wouldn't necessarily be quicker than being quicker. Tier 5, obviously we take electric generator mod, because we're never going to be at full locks for fear frequency. Although it still work, actually, fear frequency would still work, but there's a reason we take it. There's a very particular reason we take electricity. We don't take unstable lock mechanism though. We don't take unstable lock mechanism because we're never going to be at full locks. There's no reason to be at full locks with this. You only want the 3 locks. You never really want to go beyond that. All you want is you can still end up targeting more than one enemy, but you want to be firing as soon as you've got 3 locks on something in any given scenario. So we take electric generator mod, which relies on you getting 3 locks, which is exactly what we need for explosive chemical rounds. They go hand in hand. The electrocution also helps finish off enemies that aren't actually killed by the blast. It also electrocutes enemies that then opens up to damage bonuses from the shard diffractor, which obviously doesn't apply to everything. You know, bosses are off the table, so are oppressors, but still, you get it against wardens and menaces and spitballers and praetorians, patrol bots. So yeah, it works in that sense. It's just the right choice. Overclock, obviously, it's both for chemical rounds, which is great in a lot of specific scenarios when it comes to robots and in general. Robots, it's mainly for swarmers, as in shredders. So explosive chemical round is, in my opinion, actually at its best against swarms of tiny enemies, which is something that the shard diffractor would be wasting ammo on. But explosive chemical rounds handle them very well. So that's swarms of shockers, swarmers, and shredders, all of which start with an S. I'm not saying anything there. And also just grunt swarms in general, as well as we also obviously just use the smart rifle for electrocuting certain enemies to get the damage bonus from the shard diffractor. But because it also comes with its own fear factor, it's actually possible to use it to also turn a Praetorian around, so you can laser down its butt and get all that extra damage. It's also great, if you want to go into really specific examples, it's very great at dealing with the Caretaker's appendages and the Caretaker's intakes, which is the shield segment, the force shield segment. And it feels pretty good against dreadnoughts in general, especially the Hive Guard. I'm sure you can imagine why. But that's our smart rifle. What about our shard diffractor? Built purely for damage and ammo. Now, argument for taking more damage in tier 1 is very strong. I personally just like having something with a lot of ammo in my pocket, unlike the smart rifle. So I just go all in on the ammo, with efficiency tweaks and ammo in tier 1, but I take weak point bonus in tier 2, which is helpful against everything. We're not using this for crowd clearing, we're using this for lasering down single targets. Now, it's still, because of how quick it does that, and because it still has an AoE element, this can obviously be used in pretty much every scenario to acceptable effect. But obviously single target damage is the name of the game here. Lasering down a warden, praetorian, spitballers, menaces on their weak points, any kind of boss, it works pretty nicely against, although. Bosses, it works, it's just, it would be a lot nicer if you were taking damage in tier 1. I still prefer having the ammo, but I recognise that its DPS against bosses isn't always actually that impressive. It's just good enough. And of course we take more ammo here because we don't really need the recharge rate, in my opinion. It would actually be nice for convenience sake, but we want as much ammo as possible. This is for lasering down turrets and patrol bots. Patrol bots has changed a little bit. It's much harder to set them on fire now, which is why we actually combine the electricity from the smart rifle and shooting a patrol bot in the weak point as long as we can to do the best. That's how you do it the best. You don't actually want to set it on fire. You can, but the chance of you having that like sustained DPS for that long against a patrol bot's body, very slim. But the chance of you actually being able to do most of its health by shooting the weak point without setting it on fire is actually quite high. And then it'd be open to be finished off by the smart rifle or a power attack or even your teammates or Bosco. But obviously tier 4 we take heat. Not just because it's the most obvious pick, because there's no reason to take armor breaking over direct damage, direct target heating, but it's obviously better for robots as well. It can help you get those patrol bots. It helps you set on fire everything else much quicker, which opens up damage bonuses for the smart rifle. That residual damage can kill things, especially spitballers. They take a lot of fire damage over time. And so do many other enemies. It's extremely useful in that sense. It is actually useful, the damage over time element, but also against robots, against turrets, specifically sniper turrets. Sniper turrets are not an issue with this build. That is the thing you are probably one of the things you are best against is actually sniper turrets, which is pretty cool. You can just laser them down. Other turrets might be a bit more of an issue, but I believe you can actually heat them up before they activate, which is actually what you want to be doing most of the time with this. You can still laser down a burst turret before it starts firing if you're quick, and you should be. Although I wouldn't be too worried about those. You know, actually the smart rifle itself is actually pretty decent with damage against those. And for burst turrets, as long as they're on their own, the best solution is to always just run up to them and just walk around them with your pickaxe. Speaking of pickaxe, should be that, because that's how you almost one-shot patrol bots with it. Serrated edge, that's what you want to do. Also, serrated edge is just the best because of the amount of damage you can do to oppressors as well, and one-shot guards too. So that's why we do that. Turrets is my standard setup. We take stun for crowd control, defender system for damage. We take as much ammo as possible by taking Gemini system and ammo in tier 2. It's worth getting used to, in my opinion. The convenience of quick deploy is significant, but if you can get used to it, more ammo will be more useful. Simple as that. Platform gun, we don't need repellent additive, so we take all ammo just to help us create more constructions, safe areas, platforms from which to fire, platforms from which to just making traversal easier as well. Grenade, we take shredders. Now, the build's one weakness going in weapons alone is massive groups of enemies, which obviously that sounds like, oh, massive groups of enemies. Well, you're not always fighting massive groups of enemies. They show up often enough to be considered as part of the build, or something that you should be able to deal with. That's why we take the shredders. Shredders are fantastic against everything, and that includes massive hordes. So that's why we take them. You could take proximity mines. They would serve this function, but obviously you're not going to be a robot killer with proximity mines, given that more than half of the rival faction either are not on the ground or are on the ceiling. Which I guess means that 150% of them are not on the ground. They're either floating or on the ceiling. Like shredders, because shredders are fantastic against shredders and turrets and just massive groups of enemies in general. Just a fantastic all-purpose grenade, which only adds to the case of them potentially being overpowered, which I think they probably are, but they are the way they are, and I'm going to use them for what they're good at, which is this. Armor rig, not important, really. You take what you want. I always take breathing room. I never take deep pockets, a big room bag. That's just my principle for armor rig. Standard engineer perks, take Thorns because you're an engineer. Take Vampire because you're playing the game. Born Ready is not 100% necessary on here, but there's nothing else that really rises up. Resupply would be very useful though. In fact, I wouldn't use Born Ready with this guy. I would use Sweet Tooth or Resupplier. Take Resupplier. And of course, Dash and Height Sense are my standard, but I've tried to shift towards Beastmaster in general, instead of Heightened Senses. Obviously, as a solo player, Beastmaster would probably be more useful, as long as I can actually keep a lookout for cave leeches. But Heightened Senses has cave leeches, grabbers, now controllers, and Nemesis. Quite a few opportunities to use it. And Beastmaster isn't really going to help us with a robot killing build, even though obviously it's supposed to be good against everything. As you can see, I've selected an elimination mission at the moment. I'm definitely going to do an industrial sabotage, don't worry, but what I would like to do most of all, and I'm probably not going to be able to, sometimes my luck does come through, a elimination rival presence, because I want to showcase this against dreadnoughts and rival enemies as much as possible, both of those things. So this is the perfect mission. This is exactly what I wanted. It does have low gravity. If I had my way, I would have avoided a tactically beneficial mutator, but I haven't. Either way, I've shown you the build, and let's just get into the missions. Showcase against. Hopefully, we can get some big swarms. We can showcase it against dreadnoughts and rival enemies, and the caretaker, obviously. But we'll get to that next mission. All right, see you down there.
Let's get the job done and get back in a hurry.
Scanners have picked up a global dreadnought raccoon cluster.
She forgot about
God. ASAP. Take those big
low gravity
out before they force us to shut down operations in the area, and try to make it.
Go fetch. I die a little inside every time I have to take out a new foe.
So I've got to be a bit quick on it. In fact, there's a good chance this might be the only mission.
Hate to wait for flare charging.
Technically shouldn't be necessary, but I do have somewhere to be. Come on, come on. Bro. See that? Idiot.
Hello and goodbye.
In what the chance I get this done and industrial sabotage within
Be gone.
30 minutes? It's not going to
Sorry,
happen.
little bug. Your own fault for being full of goodies. Help me with the minerals here. That's it. Back's full.
Alright, here come the guys.
Off to the junkyard with you. Damn flares could need an upgrade. These bugs don't stand a chance against us. Reloading. I made a platform. I can't carry anymore. Focus fire here. Down the hatch. Eat it! No, it lingers.
Hear that? The meteorite. I don't have time for
There are
that.
multiple meteor fragments headed your
I have
way.
time for that though.
We'll mark the impact location
better,
as
actually.
accurately as possible.
In fact, I can ignore that. Once I'm actually better that it's small meteors.
Just take your sweet time.
Damn it. What's it?
That's all you got, you slippery shit. Relax. I took out the cave leak. What's the death part of the Praetorian?
Who did that?
One sentry gun ready to be built. We gotta locate and destroy the food nexus or we will have lifted spawns on our tail forever. One sentry gun ready to be built. Sentry done! Go get him, boy! Flares ain't ready! Reloading!
Hey bro, what are you doing? Where is it? The hell? Oh. Sugar boom, sugar boom. Sugar boom.
Shredder swarm deployed.
Right.
Reloading. Donkey,
I'm gonna
come
get enough
here.
nitro for 2 resupplies and that's it, because that's all I should need. Right, we're there. Okay. Look at. Oh! Whoa!
Jaw dropping.
Okay, not an
Where
issue.
is that damn tin? Ow! Shred and destroy.
Pitiful.
Go lie down forever.
Spring bunny deposited. Well done, team. Performance point bonus is active.
Hot. I need the mule right here, right now. Where is that damn mule? Took out a loot bug. For Carl! Resupply order.
Nitro has been withdrawn and supply pod is inbound.
Time to restock. One sentry gun ready to be built. Rock and roll. Sentry gun needs assembly. Move your tin ass over here and hurry, please. Grabbing ammo.
Sorry if I'm not talking much. I'm just trying to do the mission.
Out of my
Only because
way.
I have a bit of a different mind.
Players ready.
Look, I don't want to be shown for a charlatan. I want to make sure this build is as good as I claim it is.
Reloading.
Which is why I should have done this without Bosco. I really wanted to show it off.
Booyah! This is fun! You
That was easy.
Shredder Sword! Reloading! Gotta wait for the Rachel. Die! Reloading!
Brilliant.
It's finally dead!
Okay. I get hacking one, please.
I'm taking some of the ammo.
Be lovely.
Help me mine this. Recharge. Take that! What a jaw-dropping experience! All good things come to those who wait, like dual flamethrowers and beer.
Never stood a chance. Right, how do I get?
Bosco, mine it!
And yes, I did forget that I'm gonna have to deal with the turret controller in the next room. That should be fun. Right, here we are, Victory Road.
I feel less on edge without these things around. Splat! Shredder's out! Stand your ground! Give no quarter! Sentry gun needs assembly. Arm! Propulsion turret eliminated. Loot bug eliminated. Found you, you greasy meatball. First turret disabled.
Any snipers? No. Okay. I was hoping for snipers because they're the thing that's most fun to destroy with this build. I hear it. Now I see it.
Those turrets ain't gonna give us more trouble, but now. I ordered a resupply. One sentry gun.
Supplies are on the way.
Sentry armed.
Secondary objective completed. Fine job.
Flares. Recharging. Resupply arrived. Go restock. Sentry gun needs assembling. Yeah. Die, bolt sack.
Guess I'm not going to get down that one.
Booyah! We've got a dreadnought.
Right, get one of all three. That's exactly what we want.
Reloading. Shoot it. deployed. Support fire, please. Flares charging. Reloading. Reloading.
Dreadnought's wiped out for now. Good work, team. In the return bomb on the mule when you're ready, we will pick you up.
That might be the quickest max Dreadnought I've ever done. Elimination. Especially with Rival Presidents.
Over here.
Definitely the two combined is the fastest I've ever done.
No, the flares are recharging.
This one must have to take on it, right? Something for my trouble. Let's get the fuck out of here.
That's how you do it. Drop pod is on the way.
Oobama.
Ammo taken.
Drop pod has arrived. Retrieving the mule. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Need some free space. It burns. It burns. One down. Better hurry. You scrap heap filer already wrapped.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes.
It's armed and ready.
The mule is secured. Initiating launch sequence. Deep Rock Galactic thanks you for your good work. Drop pod will leave with or without you. Good work. We're pulling you back in.
Well, there you go. Technically, I could probably have time for like a really short mission. It's like, what would be the point? You know, what would be the point? But do I really have time? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Obviously, I think I showcased the strengths there. We got good against bosses, good against robots. We've got options for massive hordes too. So, what more do you want to see? Rockpox? Oh. Obviously, this build does predate Rockpox. And my silent mission as well. So yeah, the build predates Rockpox. And neither thing is particularly great. Especially the smart rifle. This smart rifle is not really good against Rockpox. In fact, the smart rifle is pretty bad in general. Charge Fractor's got ammo on its side, but sustained fire doesn't do anything against Rockpox enemies. And Shard Fractor thrives on sustained fire, because if you don't use sustained fire, then you have to constantly wait for it to recharge. So you can't tap fire it. Which means you end up wasting a lot of ammo on Rockpox unless you're a fucking ninja. So if you're going against Rockpox, there's a chance that the more general purpose version would actually use the stubby. Which I would be tempted to show off. Like, there isn't a short lithophage outbreak mission. I'm gonna see if I can get away with doing this just for fun,
Drop
just to show you.
pod ready. Time to leave.
I'll use the Hyper Pellet one. Hyper Pellet one might come in a different video, but I want to do this for some reason. Tag it on. If it's worse or better. It'd be hard to gauge just in such a short mission, but I'll try anyway.
Let's go! Sentry gun needs assembling. Sentry on.
All right, team, you're going after eggs this time. Alien eggs. Can't miss them. They're big and they glow. Get the eggs, stow them in Molly, and get back alive.
No, I suppose what's interesting is, I didn't really talk about hydrogen rupturing on the shard diffractor, and obviously, I wish that one was a little bit different. The changes I would make to it, but it's still pretty good, especially for engineer.
On the inside.
Getting a good damage bonus from electricity on the shard diffractor, pretty valuable. And it actually surprisingly competes quite well with the other tier 5 options, but I guess the problem with it is those enemies that can't be electrocuted, which is all the bosses and oppressors, except Betsy. Betsy can be electrocuted. Now there is a workaround for this actually, which is turret arc. Turret arc, yeah. I'm not going to use turret arc, but that turret arc electrocutes anything that passes through the turret arc, the beam, and you do get that damage bonus. I've tried this before and it worked, and it did a lot of damage. Not a good build though. Just still not a good build, which is really upsetting. Well, I mean, to be fair, I did do it. I tried it with Overdrive Booster, and of course, Overdrive Booster is really shit. There's this weird sort of thing, a discrepancy between me and the community at large, I guess, where it comes to things like Overdrive Booster specifically. I get Hyperpellet and Batboy more, but Overdrive Booster, I think it's terrible. And I guess people like it because it's fun, right? Because, by the way, total damage, it does not outperform this, what I'm using right now, which to me makes it not worth using. And yeah, the idea of having like a really fucking powerful laser beam that you can just switch on is fun, but the shard factor already is that. It's not fun when I turn on a version that wastes more ammo and stops me from moving. I don't see how that's more fun. In fact, I often don't understand how people can use such inefficient things and still find it fun. There's a balance of fun for me where it comes from the fun factor of the stuff I'm actually using, and then also actually succeeding at the game. And I guess the people who have a lot of fun with these sort of bad overclocks and stuff probably aren't playing them for fun. I have to imagine. So the problem with the stubby version of this is, well, clearly it's not as quick at dealing with stuff, and it's not very good against swarmers either.
One sentry gun ready to be built. Sentry done! Go get him, boy! Booyah! Flares recharging. Shoot to kill! Spring bunny stopped!
Where is it? Where's the bunny? Oh. There you are.
Worst pinball
He lined that up for
game
me.
ever.
It's never that easy to hit a shellback's weak point.
Can't believe we had another cargo shuttle go down like this. Good work, miners.
I can believe it.
Performance is
It's called a
active.
gag.
I'm wondering if fighting bugs and moving dirt is the best way to make a living. Preserve your bullets! Light for me, please. God damn it, there's a pebble in my boot.
It's the oppressor, right? Not Victorian.
I'm full. Where's Molly?
Yeah. Up, man.
Skull Crusher! Molly, come here. Rocks and stones may break my bones, but beer will never hurt me. Gee, I'm feeling poetic today. Platform.
Nah, beer can definitely hurt you.
Platform. Inventory is full. Time to deposit. I called for Molly.
Whoa, hey, look who decided to show up. Now I'm glad I did this.
Pesticide coming up. Never felt better.
Alright, I've got the ammo for this. So I'm just going to dive straight into this fight.
I got the shell back.
There's the actual war.
One sentry gun ready to be built.
I'm going to do something stupid. I'm actually going to place the turret up here.
Sentry gun needs assembling. Sentry armed.
Here we go.
No players ready.
Where was the heart again? Okay.
Access provided.
Damn it. Hold on, did it send out a healer? I didn't see one. No.
I got the tri-jaw. Reloading. Bloody hell, you're hard to kill. Not ready. There's recharging. Deep Rock seriously need to invest in some.
And that's a very well handled call of Pirate Weed. Right, but I need to
Help
get
me
on
mine
this.
this.
I'm actually very glad that happened. That bolsters the value of this video like quite a bit, I think. I got a call lock in as well.
Supply pod launched. Better stand back.
Come here, you flying tin can. Could need a new canister. Getting tired of this old crap bucket. It's past your expiration date. Reloading. Drone, get to work. Platform. Flares, recharging. I need you here. Reload. Help me with the minerals here. I called for the mule. You want something done right? You gotta do it yourself.
This stubby build is kind of weird. I guess I probably should have ran through it. So EM Refire Booster gives us rate of fire and bonus electric damage for each bullet. Doesn't actually increase electrocution chance or any kind of direct AoE benefits. Mainly just the rate of fire allows us to proc electrocution more frequently. So obviously we take electric arc in tier 5 and take upgraded capacitors in tier 1. Most electrocution, highest electrocution chance means highest chance of electric arc being generated. Along with more ammo means more electric arc, conductive bullets as well. It all just combines as much electricity as possible without using either of the turret ones. Just a decent generalist weapon, which is actually a good way to describe the shard fractor as well, so they go hand in hand quite well. It's just neither are particularly defensive. I guess the only thing the stubby has is electrocuting swarms. Electrocuting groups of enemies does some work in keeping you safe. Slowing down groups of enemies like to a halt as well, because electrocution kind of ranks on it a bit, and I get it because it's not a very powerful damage effect, but it still does damage, and it's a very strong slowdown effect, which is its main factor. It's just a very powerful slowdown effect that happens to do damage as well. So I personally have a lot of respect for the electrocution stats effect. But I've just combined a swarm with an ambush, which is pretty cool. Big, because I heard some enemies.
Reloading.
Don't know where they are.
Follow me, Bosco. Platform.
I need one more Evo nut as well.
Egg collection completed. Well done. Pull the escape pod in when ready.
There it is.
Coming. Smoke him if you got him.
I hate Nate. Nate, wait, flare charge. Reloading.
Almost through the wave, team. Go, go.
Come and get some. No, the flares are recharging. Reloading. Shredder swarm deployed.
nice looking here, isn't it? Literally a 2-room cave.
But I'm faster.
Right, get out of it.
Sending in the drop pod. Starting the
That went very well. I'm actually really glad I did that mission.
Well done.
I actually enjoy this version of it as well with the stubby. It's actually appreciably good. I would recommend using either.
Destroy. Yeah.
Drop pod has arrived. The mule has been called back. Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Try top down. You're a stain on the floor. If only this bloody bucket was bigger. A lot bigger. Isn't waiting forever.
I guess this means that the hyper-propellant video I should probably use in discharge instead. I'll test that build out and see if it's worth going on.
Shredders deployed.
The mule has docked. Initiating.
Well, it's actually got darker.
Extraction commencing. Good work.
Oh, that was a robot killer build. As you can see, it kills more than just robots. It also kills plants. Maybe not zombies though. I don't know. You'll have to see for yourself. Well, that's why I used the stubby version, isn't it? Because the stubby version can deal with rock pox quite well because you have a good ammo pool. And slowing down enemies also makes it a lot easier to hit those boils, the rock pox boils. So this isn't for this mission isn't for right now. I'm gonna do this in my own time. Either way, I really hope you enjoyed this episode of Build Showcase. I hope you enjoyed the build itself. You can find a link to the carl.gg page for it in the description. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to see more build showcases. That's how it works on this lovely platform of ours called YouTube. Either way, see you tomorrow for a stream. See you on Thursday for a podcast. Should be getting interesting now. Season 4 teaser's really getting, kicking in. So, we'll see you soon. Take care, guys.